everyone, and welcome to another week of Soulfully Guided. I'm your host, Carmel-Anne, and I'm really excited. We had our mini medium, who I will have give the pleasure of introducing herself. So, I'm sure you'd have to know her. She's fantastic, and also runs her own show, Mini Medium, on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. And Stephanie raised some really important topics, and she's here to talk some more. I'll let her introduce and take over the show, because we're doing the Gifted Children series and we're exploring it from other people's perspectives, not just mine. So welcome, Stephanie. Thank you for joining us again.
Gosh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be back. I feel like last time we just so much, information in such a short amount of time. So I'm happy to continue where we left off, kind of sort of. No, I'm excited for this, and just even the just I want to tell you first and foremost, my friend, how uh, how important and how I appreciate personally from my experiences, I guess, if you will, how grateful I am that you're doing this, because it's just I don't it's something that obviously that not many really think about, because it's just not common right now. It will be, it's going to be, um, but but really how it can help our children, and also generations after them, right? So it's incredible. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
So, well, let me tell you, I'll tell you a little bit briefly, I guess, about myself. I love to talk, so I'm a talker. Well, it's really bad sometimes, but that's the Gemini in me. But well, as you introduced, I am the mini medium, and I've been, I guess, with A1R. Gosh, it's been almost 2 years now. Crazy, it blows me away. But one thing that I have loved about sharing my gifts or abilities is the fact that A1R and Moonstruck is all over the world, and so it's such a great outlet to get obviously our names out there, but also to help other people who are struggling with, okay, am I gifted? Do I have this gift? Which everybody has the gifts. It's just some aren't too sure how to use them. Some are afraid to use them. And so, I feel like it's a matter of, deciding if you want to dive into, working on those individual gifts. But anyhow, so matter of fact, today on my show, I had a lady call in, and I believe I don't believe in coincidences, period, end of story. And I had a lady call in today, my first caller, and she had asked exactly about her shift of change in her life. And I don't know how old this lady was. I didn't ask. I know better. I don't ask age. You just don't do that. I had one person say, "If you're psychic, how old am I?" And I said, "I'm smart enough to know better than to go there."
My kids
Yeah,
think I've turned 21 for the last 6 years, so I may have
perfect.
confused the mathematics.
I love it. Keep it that way. Keep it that way. No, I don't know how old she was, obviously, because we don't get to see them; we just hear them. But I feel I'm assuming, and what I was picking up on, she, later in her life, but she had a spiritual awakening, and now is learning to tap into her gifts. And so, even at an older age, it's still something that people struggle with. So, um, so
Mhm.
now just talking about my growing up, and really with talking about gifted children. I was 7 when I had my first experience with my gifts of mediumship, and I had saw my grandfather who had passed months prior, and he was looking over a bassinet that had my little baby brother in it, and um, you know, growing up, it was just, it's your imagination. You're just seeing these. Um, so yes, I now being a mom myself, I understand where my parents came from, but also now knowing what I know now, I very much encourage my daughters. So I have two daughters. They're both very talented, very gifted. My son is as well. But my little redhead, my little JC, she is, I call her she's my mini, I would say I'm mini medium, but she's my mini me when it comes to my gifts. And my oldest is my mini me look wise. But um, so anyhow, just watching her grow up and now uh, being able to encourage her with what she's seeing and hearing and feeling and knowing, I feel is so important because we are preparing our world, us as an older generation, older gifted generation. We'll just
I
put it that
don't
way. How
identify with
about
older, sorry.
no? I was just gonna say, how about seasoned? How about we say that?
Remember, I'm
Seasoned.
21.
Oh, right. Yes, that's right. And I'm 26. So yeah, what are we talking about? Oh my goodness. I love it. But yeah, I feel like it's important for us in the older generations to um, help these children and prepare them and encourage them. So when we pass and our souls cross over, um, for one, we're going to have a very nice plethora of gifted people left here in the physical world to be able to channel when we're on the other side and come through, right? But I think more importantly, to let our children know that it's okay, that it isn't anything to be afraid of, that we're not, I'm not a fan of the word weird, but we're just, and I don't even like different. I think we're just identified in a sense as being, and special. We're all special in our own way, but it's going to have to take time for this to become, I don't want to say a norm, but it's going to have to take time for this to really, I think, become something that people are going to maybe not necessarily understand, what the different gifts are. They don't have to understand it, but respect it. That's all I hope for. All I hope for, my friends. So, um, I man, so I'll just put it out there. I'm 48. And so growing up, there you go, cat's out of the bag. Um, so, but I growing up through, obviously 70s, 80s, whatnot, um, it, it wasn't okay to tell people that you talk to the other side, that you talk to the dead. It wasn't okay to tell people I'm hearing voices because with no, not to put any kind of joke into it, but the minute you tell at that younger age that, oh, I'm hearing voices, it's my own voice, but I know it's not my thought or my own voice in a sense. Uh, Immediately, then they take you to, a psychiatrist, right? And then we're identified as, oh, you have schizophrenia or you have whatever it may be. And let's give you medication. And then what happens is once you start taking that medication, it, in a sense, completely numbs or shuts down those gifts. So I think we're on a good track for things to, get better, but we've got a long ways to go. Got a long ways.
Absolutely. And the thing is, remarkably, in just hearing your story on the last show you joined us, your story in my own way was very similar, and I've realized that themes are emerging between us, and shows like this and anyone who touches on this topic going forward creates awareness, because we don't expect parents to go out and be experts, but at least find someone that's honest and genuinely gifted to maybe explain it to them or talk to their children, not feeling connected, regardless of whether one is popular or not. And the inability, which through the 70s, 80s, and I still found in the 90s, the inability to know how to communicate with your children about what's going on without that, as you say, that weirdness or that psychiatry involved. So it's
Yeah. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. And absolutely agree. And I think the most important thing, I know that you've got to wrap up here soon, but if anything, if I can put out there, just to kind of end my part and what I want to say, is to make sure if you, as a parent, have a child who is saying, Mom, Dad, I'm seeing, blah, 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 or I'm hearing this, or I'm feeling, for one, don't believe them, is what I really want to believe them and trust that they are, and encourage them to talk about it. Okay, well, what did they look like? What were they wearing? And that way it makes that child feel like it's okay.
brilliant, brilliant advice. And we are so glad to have you on the show. Sorry to everyone. I've really thoroughly enjoyed this, but we're going to have to wrap
Yeah.
it up. Um, Maybe we have to invite you back again.
I'll come back.
There's a big difference between a 15 and a 30-minute show. So, yeah, we'll have Stephanie on again, which I do this every show she's on. So you should be used to me putting you on the spot. But have a great week, everyone. And thank you again to our mini medium, Stephanie.
Thank you.